Yeah, good evening, everyone. Hope I'm audible and everyone could see my screen here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay, nice. So where are we, guys? What are we discussing? I think in the last class, we started with our Node.js. We have seen the advantages of the Express API. We have seen how do we create a complete folder structure using the Express generator API. Okay. Express generator node module. And yeah, we are about to talk, we are talking even about the package.json, how actually that file is created, which is complete. This folder structure is completely got created automatically. We discussed about the node underscore modules folder. It's a predefined folder name, which cannot be renamed, which cannot be changed, which holds the list of all the, what do you say, list of all the node modules, whatever we install to the particular project. Okay, for whatever the project we install the node modules, every other node modules will be fall under the node underscore modules folder name. Okay, automatically gets created. And on the top, we are talking about the package.json file. Under the package.json, we will be having the extra information regarding the current project. What is the name, description, author names, dependencies. Like we have already shown that one node module might be depending on other node module. So those all information will be part of the package.json file. Okay. So hope everyone is clear up to there.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now you might ask me about what do you mean by this package log.json. So this is a dynamic file. If you see here, I'm actually deleting this file. And whenever you go into this command prompt, when I say something called as npm install, whenever you say npm install, if you see here, it automatically creates a file called as package log.json. So what is this file is for? So this file, if any number of times you delete, it automatically gets created. What actually this contains? Remember, when I said like when you open this package.json file, if you see the package.json file, you have the dependency of only the 6 node modules. But we have already shown that, like when I say cookie parser, when this guy didn't downloading the cookie parser might get downloaded into, might internally depend on another node module. And that guy might depend on some other modules. So those all path, what all the node modules, list of all the node modules which are depending on, those will be dynamically created under this package.log.json. If you see here, these guy contains all the node modules. See, n number of node modules, all the node modules which are even internally dependent, all the chain, right? Every other thing will be part of over here. So destroy is one of the node module, efirst is node module, encode URL implies these all are the node modules which are internally used by other node modules. So all of them, it is going to take out all those and it is going to create a single JSON file. Okay, any number of times you delete, it automatically gets created dynamically. Okay, so we have seen the 3 files over here now under this folder, a folder which got automatically created, where we have seen the package.json, package log.json, and node modules folder. Now let us go into this bin folder. So remember, in order to start my project here, I need to say something called npm start. Okay, remember in the last time when we are actually creating a node server, I said that, boss, anytime you want to start a node application, the only command what you have is node command, node space, what is the server file name. But here, instead of that, I'm using something called as npm start. So it is contradicting my statement. Boss, here you're not using the node command, but still you're going to start the server. How come? Earlier, we used to say node with server name. So whenever you say npm start, what happens is it will automatically go into the package.json file where we have specified what do you mean by the start command. If you see the line number 6, it is already mentioned that whenever you say npm start, it will internally run this command called as node space bin with www folder. So again, indirectly, the command what we're running is node only. So either you can say npm start, or you can simply say node. Under the bin folder, there is www file. Click on enter. Both are going to be the same. Either you simply say npm start or you say the node with bin www file. Both are same. Whenever you say npm start, indirectly it is going to run the same command, something like this. Now let us go into what do you mean by this triple w. When you open this triple w folder, open this guy. This file is the starting file which gets executed, which is internally having the set of instructions. How do we include a HTTP module? How do you create a server? How do you make the server listening? Remember, all these things we used to do manually. Whenever we are creating a server for the node, we used to say require HTTP module, http.create server. When you create a server, how you're going to return the data. At the same time, after creating a server, how do we listen to the particular port number? Those things we used to do that. The same thing which is already been there. That is what we said, right? Express generator is helping us to create a complete folder structure with all the minimum code what you needed to start a server. Obviously http, like creating server, these all are minimum code which is already been there. You just simply make use of it. That's it. Okay. And when it is an error, how do we handle? All the piece of code is already been defined under the triple w file. Okay. Now, if you ask me a question, boss, instead of triple W, can I make it as something else? I want to say something called as some ABC, PQR, my server, my start, etc. things and all. Is it possible to rename it? Yes, it is possible. If you rename this guy, make sure you have to do the corresponding changes under the package.json also. If you do the file name change, come to the package.json. Under this, whatever the start command you have, you simply change this file name or the folder name. That's it. So it is not a predefined. They just give the name as bin folder under the triple W, but you can always change it whatever you wanted. So any questions on this bin folder? Anyone?
Nope.
Clear, everyone?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So now we are done with the bin folder, done with the node modules folder, done with the package.json and package log.json. So the next part, what actually we have is app.js file. The most important file. In fact, I just said that whenever you say npm start, triple W is the file which is getting invoked, but indirectly app.js is the one which gets invoked first. Why so? If you clearly see into the triple W file, what actually it is mentioned is the very first line itself is require app file. So it is looking for the app.js file. Implies even though you start the triple W file, under the triple W file, the very first line is app.js. So this is the one which gets invoked the very starting. This piece of code is going to have the instantiation of the Express API, the specification of where you're going to have the web services, specification of where you're going to put all the public folders, what are the web services you're going to create. Every other information will be specified under this app.js file. Even in this app.js file, you can even specify what port number you need to listen. Even in triple W, we have the port number listening. But if you override these guys, by default, if you see, it is running in the 3000 port number. If you want to change it, you can simply change it here, like listen the port number wherever it is. So server.listen port number, say something called as 8081. Under this, you can specify the callback method, console.log. Server is listening at 8081. Save this guy, come back here. I say npm start, click on enter. You should be able to see the server is listening at 8081. So now you may ask me a question, boss, if you remember earlier when you asked us to modify the port number, you used to say that under app.js file at the line number 24, you asked us to do the change. Now, how come you're changing in the triple W file? What happens in the app.js file is, if you make the system already listen at app.js file, it will www will not invoke this guy. Okay, so what actually it will do is it will check for this. Now, if you see here, it is checking whether the port number is already there or not. If the port number is there, it will make use of it. As we are not specifying under the app.js file, it will take it from here. And over in www also, if you don't specify any port number, it will automatically take the 3000. But here I'm taking my own port number 8081. Am I clear? So either you can make the server to listen under the app.js file. So if you say that, no boss, here I don't want to do this. So here keep the code as it is under the app.js file at line number so-and-so, you say app.listen, some 8081, say some callback method. Now we are so clear about this JavaScript code, callback method. Okay, now I say console.log server is listening at 8081. Save this guy. Now if you say npm start, see here, either I can say npm start or node www also. I can say npm start, click on enter. This is how it is. Okay, now the next question what you might be having is, say for example, you are into one of the node server side coding team. You have been kept initially, have joined into one of the organization. They said that, boss, this is the project. The web application is the project name. So now you need to create some web service. Now, whenever you have been given a project, you need to see that, where actually it is starting, etc. Anytime you see any of the node project, the very first thing what you need to go and see is package.json file. Because under the package.json file, it will be mentioning where actually the app is starting from. You need to go to the start command. You need to see that, okay, bin www, because not every project might keep the bin and www folder as it is. They might change into something else. So now if you go into this www folder, then you will get to know that, okay, the very first file what executing is app.js file. Now you explore the app.js, then you'll understand the things stepwise. Am I clear till here? Okay, I know that app.js I'm not exploring completely, because when I come to the public folder, then I will again come back to this. Then I will show you what actually it is. And we'll be keep on doing much work on app.js only. Just for a broader picture, app.js is almost like a main file for your node server, which holds every startup. Instantiating the Express API. See, Express is one of the node module. He's instantiating here. And using the Express, he's specifying what type of URL it has to be used, what type of logging mechanism, what type of static path, every other thing is there. As I said you, I'll again come back to this. For now, simply app.js is a main file which holds the complete startup of the node app. Okay. Any questions on this? Guys, again, I'm telling, till now, whatever we have seen, it is all the JavaScript, or it's all onto the client side code what we have seen. The way you are going to look into the coding from now has to be completely changed. We are not falling under the front end. Now we are falling under the back end, the server. Okay, so the way your mind just completely change your mindset first of all. Okay, don't get confused between the client side. But right now I'm into the server side. So very sooner what we do even work with the front end. Parallelly, we do work with the server side. So we should not get confused between them. Okay, yeah. So now this is what your simple application we have started. Once my server is started, you simply say localhost 8081. It says that welcome to Express. This is the default code what Express generator has added. Like it simply says welcome. Now, if you want to create your own HTML files, etc., things and all, you can start working on it. Okay. Yeah. So the files and the folders, what we have seen here is we have seen the bin folder, node modules folder, app.js. The three folders still we are missing is public folder, routes folder, and views folder. And one more thing. Regarding the public folder, you already know this. The very first thing is, remember when I'm talking about the server, why the reason we go with the server? The two main reasons here. The first reason is to hosting the resources. You take your resources, host into the server so that it can be accessible through the server instead of accessing from the C drive, D drive, etc. Now, if you ask me a question, why the reason you need to host the resource into the server, why can't you access the resources directly from the C drive or D drive? The reason is, if the resource is from the server, you could able to access that resource throughout the network through the port number. If it is not into the server, within the network, you cannot access the things. Okay, that's the main thing. And the second advantage, what you have with your server is, server provides some services. It can execute some job. Once you hit a URL or once you hit a server, it responds back with the response or code or object or data, whatever it is. Okay. So anytime you want to host the resources under your node server, which is being configured using the Express, public is the folder. Public is a folder under which you can place any piece of code, any piece of files, any piece of resources. These resources will not be processed by the server. Now, if you see app.js, when I console log, it will get executed. But if you try to put some app.js or some abc.js file under the public folder, that will not get executed by the server. Server is simply holding it. You put a request, it simply throws the data back to you. That's it. Nothing other than that. The files which are being hosted on the top of the server are simply being held by the server, but they were not processed by the server. Okay. Next, on the top, the things what we have is, yeah, let us take some file and put into the server. We already know this. We have already seen many number of times. Say, for example, I have the APM public, say, for example, December 2 files are there. I'm going into the web. I'm going into the web application public folder, pasting over here. Now, if you run this guy, this is how you're getting the workers, some demo. But here, I don't want to access directly from the E drive. I want to run it from the server. Now you say localhost colon 8081. Click on enter. It's not running. Why it is not running? Nothing is working. Go for console. Dollar is not defined because jQuery we are using, right? Okay, let us get some jQuery code from there to here. PM public jQuery. Okay, now if you come back and reload the page, this is how it is working. Now, if you see here, we kept the resource under the public folder. Now this resource is directly coming from the server. Now, do you say that, boss, whatever the JS file you have, whatever the HTML, is running from the server? No. Server is simply throwing the HTML and JavaScript code. If you see here, I go into jQuery, where it is coming from our server. I go with some other app.js, it is from server. It is getting held by the server. Server is simply throwing the jQuery.js, browser is executing them. So whatever the static fold files or resources, what you host under the server, they never get executed at the server side. They simply get held by the server. Once you ask the server, it simply throws the data back to you. As simple as it is. Okay, clear everyone with this? Now, the question what you might be having is, instead of public, can I rename this folder to something else? Okay, question number one. And question number two, how come the Node.js is understanding that only public is the folder under which you have all the static resources? Actually, public is not a predefined keyword. It is just named. The name itself specifies. It's a self-descriptive name. Anyone can look into the folder. They say that, okay, it might be holding the public resources. So we actually mentioned that under the app.js file. If you see this app.js file under the line number 20, at line number 20, we are using one of the method called as express.static. Express.static is a predefined method for which you specify one of the folder location. It will automatically treat that guy as a static folder. Okay. Whenever you specify a static folder for this guy, you specify a path for this express.static method, it will automatically treat that guy as a static resource folder. Okay. If you see what actually this express static we are saying, path.join. So before this, let us see what do you mean by this guy. When I say console.log __ dir name, let us execute this and see what do you mean by __ dir name. If you see here, what do you got? __ dir means the current location where the server got created is E drive git _ new web application, isn't it? Yes. See here, is the where is the web application? It is under the E drive git new under so and so. That is what it is specifying. Whenever you say __ dir name, it is a predefined keyword under the Node.js code, which will return the current folder location where the server got installed. Now what we are doing, for the directory name, you are joining the public folder. Now if you see, when I copy this guy, what are we going to receive? Now when I say console.log so and so, when I say npm start, when I'm joining this guy, what is happening? To the existing directory folder, you are adding a public file folder name. Simple. Now what you are saying, combining that, you are saying that treat this as a static folder. That is what this line number 22 means. You're taking the current folder structure, adding the public folder, you're saying that express.static, that boss, please treat this folder as a static folder. So the server will automatically understand any resources what you keep under the public folder. Those things, I'm not going to execute them, but I simply hold them. Anytime user asks, it simply throws back. Any questions here, guys? Guys, hope everybody understanding what
Sir,
we are.
I've got a question. Sorry.
Go ahead, please.
How did you create that? How did you print out the directory for the public as well? Sorry.
Okay, when I say __ dir name, it is a predefined keyword which says that where the current folder got installed. Okay. When I say path.join, a predefined method, path.join directory name and what is the folder name. It is joining and it is treating something like this. Now you give this path as a express.static. Indirectly, this line number is app.use express.static. Under this is what it is going to pass on. Indirectly, line number 22 is equal to line number 24. Am I clear, Raj, with your question?
Yes,
Hello,
sir.
sir.
Yes, please go
Hello,
ahead.
sir. Sir, it means that path.join is a function, and using that we have joined dir name and public. Does it mean like that?
That's it. Exactly.
Okay, sir,
Path.join means
got it.
you give me the path and folder. If you see here, this is a public and this is so and so. But when I see the output, am I not coming like /public? It is joining. So path is one of the predefined. Now, if you ask me a question, where actually path is coming from? Path is one of the predefined node module, which provides a predefined method .join, using which you can combine any folder name with a directive. Am I clear, Shreyas?
Yes, sir, got it.
Yeah. Any more questions, anyone? Okay, so let me remove this console. Okay. Next thing. The next thing what we have is, now we understood that. Now, if at all I rename this public folder to something called as test, can you where all I need to do the changes? If I renamed this public folder to something called as some test or sample, where all I need to do the corresponding change?
App.js.
Under
Line
the
number 21.
line number
21.
21. Under the 21 instead of public,
Public.
you need to
Yes.
specify what the new folder name you have given. Okay.
Yeah.
So that is how it is treating it as a static. So static folder is very simple. The resources which you want to host under the server, which should not be executed by the server. Just server is throwing the value when you hit it, it will simply throw the data. That's it. Fine. Now let us start creating a simple project, guys. Okay. I think you're already working on the project. Now my
So,
requirement.
sir, I have got a question.
Go ahead.
Sir, now we rename this public folder. So, in the same manner, can we change the location of the server? That is, it got created in the web application folder, but I want to move the server to another folder. So, is that possible?
When we specify the path.join, here you can specify any other directive under which you want to keep the static folders. It is always possible. Right now, I'm taking my current folder structure. Under that, I'm treating one of the public folder. I'm doing this. Assume in future, I created a folder under 8 p.m. under this bin folder. Here I'm saving it. Copy this guy, you paste it, and you pass this guy to the path.join. That folder will be treated as a static folder. You can specify any folder, not mandatory that it should be on the server. But okay, have you understood this answer, Shreyas?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Got it, right? Anywhere you can keep it. But here, recommended to not to keep an external folder, because when someone says that, please share your server code. In this case, what you have to do? If I treat if I put my public folder under my server folder itself, I simply share my folder directly. That's it. You have the server code along with the static resources. But if you keep the static resources in a different folder, when I'm sharing with someone, there is a lot of changes need to be done. You need to ask them, boss, where you're putting the static folder. The path has to be correspondingly changed into the app.js also. So that is the reason mostly not recommended to keep the static folder as a different folder. Recommended to keep it inside the server. But yes, if you want it, there is a possibility. Not mandatory that the static has to be, or the static folder has to be within the server. Not mandatory, but recommended. Okay.
Yes, sir. Clear, sir.
That's a good question too. Okay.
Sir,
Yes, please.
sir, for we created at a specific location the entire server, right? If we change the location of the entire server, is that possible, sir?
Yes, it is possible, right? That is the reason, if you see, we are not hard coding the _ dir name. The reason why we are dynamically taking the _ dir name is, right now, I kept my folder into so-and-so folder. Okay, let us say, for example, I copy this guy. Now I say console.log dir name. Okay, save this guy, come back here, refresh your page, npm start. Now my folder is so-and-so. What will be my path.join? E drive GitHub web application. Assume, say for example, you ask my, okay, let us say cd . Okay, let us say someone asked my folder, boss, can you please share your project folder? What I will do, boss, this is the web application. They copy this guy. They kept it under somewhere, under E drive, under backup, somewhere they have kept the folder here. Okay. Now they want to start the server from their local machine. It's up to them, right? It's not mandatory that when I share my folder, they need to only create so-and-so folder. Not mandatory. They kept somewhere else. Now, if you come there, here they will go. When they come to the command prompt, when they say npm start, what is the directory name? What they got? E drive git backup and web application. That is the reason we haven't hard coded there. We always take _ dir name, which will dynamically pick up the current location where the current server got installed or copied. For that, I'm appending the public folder. Did I answer your question, Hemant?
Yes, sir.
So, what will happen if we rename the web application?
What will happen if we rename the web application? Nothing is going to happen, right? If you see in any of the location, Have we hard-coded the server name? No. Only under the package.json in general, people will define the name here. See here, the name we have defined. But it is not a mandatory part. If you rename the folder name, do we need to change it here? No, it is just a description. Now, if you rename this guy to something else, you can do that. Not a problem. And we haven't hard-coded that anywhere. Clear?
Sir.
Okay. So I'm exiting from here, exit. So that is the reason we never hard code the data, guys. If we hard code the C drive, D drive, etc., the problem is not everyone will be following the same folder structure. When we go in your actual real time, when we share the project with others, we cannot ask them that, boss, you go to so-and-so folder, there you create this folder, only you can store in the C drive, D drive. No, it should be dynamic. Doesn't matter wherever user stores or creates, it should be able to work from there. Okay. Yeah. So this is how I'm saying npm start. And when I go with localhost 8081, this is saying like welcome to Express. Super fine. Now we got a bit of idea on how do we host the resources. So people keep on saying that host the resources, hosting the server, etc. Indirectly, if you broadly look into the concept of hosting, indirectly it is equal to copying the resources, putting into the server is called as hosting process. Right now, if you see, I mean, you may get a very big question mark, boss, hosting is this much of simple? I mean, people say that, I mean, hosting is like too much of a bigger part or a major part of the project. You're simply saying like copy and pasting. The reason is place or this accessibility of the server. Right now, my server is into my local machine. That is the reason I'm able to simple copy and paste it into the public folder. But in general, when you go into the real time, you won't be having your own, the server where you're hosting it will not be your local machine. That is where something a different location or a different system. That is the reason you have some complex or or multiple steps you need to follow in order to copy the resources into the server, which we call it as hosting process. Okay, so there is like if you go into the DevOps, like either you go with the Jenkins or you deploy, what actually they do the same. They take the piece of code, they build it, they check whether it is errors or error free or not, they do the checkmark scan, etc. and all. Then they take the files and they simply paste it at the dead end server so that you can access it from different servers. I mean, there are a lot of things are there, like deploying into dev vision, UAT, release, prod, BCP. So those all terminologies are there. But if we clearly see, the main intention of hosting concept is copying the resources into the server side so that those can be accessible from the server. Okay, any more questions here, guys? Hope everybody understanding, no breakage or no blockers here, no gaps, right?
No issues now, sir.
Okay, that's good. Guys, one
Sir.
more thing I forgot to, yeah, please go ahead.
No related from this, but why we buy a domain name?
Why we buy a domain name? That's a good question. I think someone asked this. You are the one who asked the Shaker, like.
No, sir, no, sir.
Myself, sir.
Okay, Hemant, you asked this, right? GoDaddy.com, etc.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
You told to remind, sir.
We forgot to remind you, sir.
Okay, it's fine. Thanks for asking this. I mean, we may deviate a bit from the current, but it's useful information, guys. So let me discuss something on it. Whenever you go with, okay, first of all, the very first question what you might be having is, what do you mean by internet? If I ask you a question, what do you mean by internet? What is this? Can anyone answer it?
Network of
Just a
several
network
many
of-
servers throughout the globe.
Okay, that's a good answer. Next. What do you mean by internet? Guys, what happened to everyone? Not everyone is responding. Especially madams. All madams are in mute nowadays. Yeah. What do you mean by internet? Can I simply say that a network of networking is called as an internet? What do you mean by network?
You can think of it. Can we say this, sir? It's like a network that connects all the other computers to, I mean, that are obviously accessible to connect to something like a network. Basically, an internet is essentially like a network of a network. Yeah.
Yeah, that is what it is. That is what we said, like network of networking it is. Internally, like a group of networks will be there. Say, for example, this is one of the network. Multiple systems got connected. And again, there is another network. Multiple systems got connected within them. Like this, like this. Come on.
Sir, what is the difference between network and networking?
Network is system connected. The process of connecting the systems is called as networking.
If I connected a Wi-Fi into the different device, it is called networking, right?
Anytime two systems, external systems, either it could be a system or a mobile, if those two are connecting each other or communicating each other, sharing the data or passing information, whatever it is, we call it as a network. The
Okay, thank you.
configuration concept, if you configure this, say for example, I asked you, boss, can you please, there are two systems are there, this is the cable, etc. You configure something, you put the cable and makes the systems to be connected. The concept is network, but the job of doing all this is called as networking. Okay.
Sir, if I share the data through the Bluetooth, it is called networking, right, sir?
Anywhere, cross devices connecting. If I say copying the data from C drive to D drive, can I say it's networking?
It is the one separate one device, sir. I think you said the different device.
That is what I'm asking. In my system, from C drive, I'm copying a file into D drive. Can I say it is a networking?
No, sir, I think.
No, not at all. Because it is not device, cross devices. Anytime from one device to another device. Other device might be a system, other device might be a mobile, other device might be Bluetooth or infra or what type of communication, whatever you do. If the communication is happening between two systems, say for example, there is a remote and I have a TV. Can I communicating each other? Yes, it's a networking.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
The reason for network is to connect between the cross systems and make a communication happen between two. We call it as a network. Okay, next. So now I call this guy is one of the network, and if this network is connected to this guy, if this network are connected to this guy, we call it as network of networking. Okay. Why the reason systems are connected to each other? First question. Why the reason systems are connected to each other? Can I say that for data sharing?
Yeah.
That is the reason,
Yes, sir.
right? The main intention of going with the network system is data sharing. Whatever the information you have in one machine, you could able to share the data. Super fine. Now, the very first thumb rule, what you have within a networking is unique IP or system name or domain name. Whenever a system is participating within the network, you should able to have a unique IP or a unique system name. The first thing what you have is you cannot create the network on the same machine. In my laptop, can I create another machine? No. Sorry, I cannot. When I say that I want to connect with my machine itself, that is completely, a statement itself is wrong, isn't it? When I say connection is happening between two systems, in the sense there should be two different machines which is having some two different IPs, which is having some two different system names, which is having some two different domain names. This domain name or the system name or the IP name, these all should be unique. Am I clear till here? Everyone?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Sir,
Okay.
even if we use a virtual machine also,
Even the virtual machine will be having a unique IP, a unique system name, or the unique domain name. We cannot have within my machine. I can create another virtual machine, but you see, you can put the different name for that. I won't be having the same IP. If you try to hit on it, it won't be having the same IP. Okay.
Yeah.
Am I clear? Yes. Now, the reason why we put this IP system and all is whenever you are participating within the network, you should able to be identified uniquely. So that, say, for example, there are millions and trillions of systems connected within the internet. Now, how come I could able to identify the Google guy? I can identify the Google guy either through the IP or either through the system name. You know one thing, let me open this guy. Okay, let us say there is something called as ping www.google.com. When I say this, do you see this is the IP of the Google system? Now, if I copy this guy, if I say then copy this. You see here, I could able to reach google.com when I hit that IP. Indirectly, see here, I'm hitting the IP. I'm not hitting the google.com. When I'm hitting this guy, internally it is going to google.com only. In the same way, you say ping amazon.com. You see, you will be getting his IP. His IP is so and so. Now, if I copy this guy, paste this, and when I hit this, it is going to turn on and check this guy. I mean, it is stating it as not secured, but I'm fine with this.
Sir, we didn't type in www. Could that be the reason?
No, not actually needed here to get the.
Sir, you can click on that advanced.
Under advanced.
Yes.
Sir, advanced.
Advanced. Proceed. Where it is going, man?
To use double slash.
HTTP will be having double slash only, right?
It is not treating as
Okay, I will see that later, but anyway, but if you see, whenever you are hitting any of the web page, you should able to see its port number, something like this, or IP number like this. Internally, every system is being configured with the IP. Okay. Now, either you can access the system through the IP number, or you can access the system with the system name, or you can access with the domain name. Now, when you say that, boss, what do you mean by domain? When you open godaddy.com, now when I say that godaddy.com is one of the domain provider, one of the example, one of the popular, but you can go with any of the thing. And being a UI developer, I really recommend you to buy a web page and host some resources, guys. That is very cheaper. I mean, under 1,000 rupees, you could able to get everything. Domain is just 300 to 400 rupees. On the top, you can buy out a space, and deploying is also very, very, very simple. So that it helps you. How do we do the deployment, etc.? You can try on that. Or if you want any help, let me know. I can help out. Now, if you see here, it is asking me the domain name. I say that something called as Prasad's classes.com. This is what my domain name I want to go. Now, when I say search something like this, it will be asking, boss, whether it is available or not. It says that, yes, Prasad's class.com is available, or prasadclassy.com or something. It is giving some options. Now, if you ask me a question, what do you mean by this prasadclass.com? This is the name. Whenever I say that, boss, I'm going to buy the domain, he is going to create a virtual machine to me. He is going to create a small configuration system to me where he is going to assign an IP, and he is going to put the name to that place, so that if I want to access, and that guy, that system, whatever he is creating, that guy is already participating within the internet, so that everyone can access that guy. That is the reason we need to pay for him. The reason why he is charging for so and so, he want to create a system for us which is already participating within the internet. From there, you could able to access the data. Now, when I say that Amazon.com, how we could able to access it? Amazon guy has bought one name, and under the network, internet, he's putting that system so that he's already part of that network. And how do you identify that guy uniquely? The name what he has bought. So this is what we call it as IP or the domain name. Whenever we buy the domain name, indirectly the name of the system which is already participating within the internet, so that once it is there, everyone can access it. Now, when I want to create locally, when I'm saying some localhost.com so and so, I don't need to put a domain. Why? The reason I'm the only one who is accessing. Now, someone, my friend is coming, he's connecting to my system. He want to access this. Does he need a domain? No, he can just simply access with my system name itself. But if you see, when I say my system name, I say host name is equal to desktop hyphen so and so. Do you think when I want to publish this web page, does everybody remember this desktop 05EM? No. I want to put some classy name. My company name is Prasad's Tech Co. For example, Prasad's Tech Co. is my company name. I want to put that. Now, for my system, I will put the name called as so-and-so, Prasad Tech, whatever it is. Now, this system is participating within internet. Oh, sorry, my friend is connecting. We could able to access it. Now, we are in a private network. My friend or my friend, whatever, whoever is connecting my system, it's a private network. Now, what if I want to make it public? I need to have some space within the internet which should have the name what I wanted. I need to check whether someone has already taken the name or not. If not taken, I need to buy out the space. Now you put your resources into there, then that guy will be accessible throughout the internet. Anyone can access it. So that is what the
Sir,
story.
but this desktop 05, that name would be created by the manufacturer of the device.
No, it is not created by manufacturer. Whenever you're creating when you're installing the operating system at the time of configuration, if you could see, I mean, if you ever got a chance to install the operating system, it will ask for you, boss, what is the system name you want to give? If you don't specify any name, by default, it takes a unique generator. Otherwise, I can put some name called as Prasad or prasad.com to my system. But if I take this system, I say that Prasad, I say I can give my system as a google.com, I can give it. But if I take the system and when I put into the internet, it will not allow. What it say, there is already a system with the google.com, you cannot put this system out there. Am I clear? So Shekhar, who asked?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. My question is, what is .com, .edu, .in? Why you use this?
This is how they actually differentiate between the regions. Now, when I say that .in, that itself will specify that, okay, it is from India or within this network. Now, when I say .com, it is a international. Or when I say .co, .ist, or sorry, not ist, .gn, .es,
.org.
.org. So these all are like subcategories. I mean, they have differentiated, which will be having some, I mean, when you say .com, people automatically know that it's, when you're buying a domain, right? .org is a bit cheaper when compared to .com because .com is international. So that is just a group of network which actually to differentiate between, from the existing globe. Now, when I say prasad.com, what people will feel, wow, what is Prasad? I mean, it might be international company. Now, instead of this, if I simply say prasad.in, you got already filtered from the complete globe, right? You got filtered that, okay, you belong to a group of Indian company. So that is how you actually differentiate, so that which group of category you belong to.
Okay, sir. So it's a help in SEO or not? In SEO?
SEO, you mean to say search engine optimization?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Search engine optimization is completely different, right? When you're searching something, search engine optimization is how fast you were being picked up when you search from the search engines. Now, I say something called as online shopping application. How does it is really helping us in differentiating between ORG or OSC, etc. and all? Whenever you say search engine optimization, it is again the algorithm what Google actually follows from the existing millions and trillions of web pages, how actually it could able to find out. Whenever you go for any of the web pages, right? When I go for Amazon, go into the source code, there is something called as a meta tag with keywords. Ever heard about this? There is something called as keywords. If you see
Yes.
this called as meta with num keywords, these all are the keywords. If you see n number of keywords they have given, see these many keywords. Anyone search for sports, anyone search for fitness and outdoors, anyone search for small appliance, kitchen, home, jewelry, fashion, etc. They have already added this. Whenever you go for searching something, now you say a lot of people have a question, boss, I'm searching for online shopping application. How come Google is saying that Amazon is online shopping application? Does the Google guy going into the Amazon page and checking whether it is selling some items or no? Not at all. Whenever you search something, the Google guy will take your query and only matches with the keyword which we kept under the meta tag. If that is matching, he will simply throw the web page. That is the reason. Anywhere you go with something called as Flipkart. Any web page you go, they specify the meta tag with something called as keywords. Come on, why this search is not working? What happened to this guy? Okay. Too much of code, right? Okay, it got stuck between searching all this. But actually, like, I mean, if you go to any of the...
So that keyword had appeared the result.
Sorry? You see here, this is what the keywords, what it is having. Online shopping India, online shopping store, online shopping site. So like this, everyone, any web page, whatever they create, they specify the keywords. That is where your Google or Yahoo or Bing, whenever they're searching the records with the web pages, they make sure they only check with the meta and see whether it is matching or not. Okay, so I mean, Shaker and...
Hello, sir.
Yes, Ali, go
Sir,
ahead.
what will happen if the domain expires?
Okay, that's a good question. So whenever they are buying the space, right? If you see here, when I open this GoDaddy.com, they said like for 1 year, they are going to charge for 399 rupees. Whenever you say, I mean, do you feel like expiry in the sense, in general, that is a manual word. It is nothing like automatic. In your system, there is a concept, something called as expiring. No, right? Now, when I say that, boss, your mobile phone plan will expire on 30th of Jan. Now, after 30th, what happens? Internally, a piece of code will get executed. They make sure to manually disconnect it. There is nothing, as per the system, there is nothing like disconnection, but they manually disconnect it so that, because boss, you charged only for this time. Now, whenever you say that after 1 year, you're not recharging, in general, GoDaddy guys will keep on calling you before one month or 2 months saying that, boss, it is about to expire. Do you want to recharge or do you want to pay money back and make it alive? Now, if you say no, what actually happens? They make the content what you have copied into the particular domain or the system, they clear it out and they keep this domain available for the public. Now, if you see prasadclass.com, it says that it is available. But when I say google.com, it says it's not available. Now, once you buy out this prasadclasses.com for 399 rupees, later you search something, it says that no, boss, it is not available. But after 1 year, if you're not buying it, if it is expired, then you search for it, it says that it is available. Someone else can buy and they can put something on it.
So, yeah, if somebody buy this my domain, can he like take my resources?
Not at all. Once you say you are buying the domain, at the same time, when I say GoDaddy, when I say that domain name is like the system name, that's it, the name of the system. On the top, you need to buy a space also. They generally give 10 MB or something like that free of cost. But do you think in a 10 MB of system, you can put all your server resources, etc.? No. For static, it is okay. But when you go with some dynamic like node server files, etc., they will give you a system. They will configure a space for you. Even for space also, you have a offers in your GoDaddy.com, like 1 GB space. I want to buy. How much it is? They charge like 20,000 rupees per year, something like that. 2 GB space. When they give you a space, it is almost like in your C drive, if I give you 1 GB or 2 GB of space, could you install some softwares, etc. things and all? Yes, the same thing happens. Now to answer your question, you said that, boss, I have a domain, I put some resources, can anyone can access this? That is where GoDaddy even provides a security. The system or the space what they gave you, make sure that only you can log in to the system and you can access the data. Not everyone can access the data. No one else will be having, I mean, in order to log into the system, they'll be giving some ID credentials. They will be sharing to your mail ID. Through that, you're going to log into the system, but no one else can access that data. That is secured.
Sir,
Yes.
Ali, am I clear with your questions?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Next, go ahead. Aman.
sir, actually, I have seen some businesses, sir, like they just sell the domain, sir, similar to GoDaddy.
Yes.
So, what privileges does he have, sir, that he can sell us domains, sir?
He is actually buying. No, when I say, okay, the very first question you need to have, you guys, is when you say that you are paying some bill for the internet, to whom you're paying, boss? To whom you're paying actually?
To our
Service
Sir,
provider.
internet service provider.
Tier 3
Internet
networkers.
service provider. Okay, say for example, I'm providing for Act. Assume like Beam is the one which everybody know. Act Fiber. I'm paying for Act Fiber. But what actually he's doing? He's taking a system. I mean, whenever you say network, it is actually the ISD, internet service providers. In your India, you know, like TCS is the one which actually provides all the cables. Do you guys agree that we know that we are connecting wireless, but when you have to connect really the systems of US systems with India, do you know that it is physically it is happening across the seas?
Yes,
There is
sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yeah.
The
Under the
cables.
sea.
Tier 1 companies maintains all those things.
Okay, let me show you a notion. You see, this is how the cables will be added. Like we say, I mean, anyway, it is internally a different, what do you say, different terminology or different technology there is, like how the fiber grid has been happening, how the data has been there. But internally, you know, these type of wiring will be done internally for internet connection between the countries. We, when it comes to us, we are actually getting it through Wi-Fi, etc. and all. But when it has to come to the India or some different company, it is physically, it is going to be shared. So when we say that we are paying something, it is for the guy who is actually providing the, I mean, for maintenance of this cable or maintaining the system domains, etc. Now, whenever you say that a GoDaddy is charging you some abc.com, so they want to buy a space within the network. So whoever is providing this network provider, so what GoDaddy will do, they will buy a space from there and they are going to in turn pay for them. GoDaddy is just a mediator. GoDaddy, what he will do, he will buy a huge space for like trillion, 1 trillion TB. I got the space. Now the network provider will give the space and he will charge from him. Now what he is taking that space, he is dividing into multiple virtual systems. Now that what multiple virtual systems, he is giving the name what we wanted, making sure that that is not being used by anyone. He is assigning the name. That is what he is charging for. Did I answer the question, Hemant?
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so now,
Hello, sir.
go ahead, please.
Sir, a single domain.
Pankaj, we lost you. Can you please again repeat what you said?
In a single domain name, like a government.in, the two domain name added in a single website.
Mhm.
So, how many domain name add we can, and what is the purpose?
Okay, Pankaj,
Like
that is the same. Internally, when I say that when I'm buying the web page from the GoDaddy.com, they will ask you, the same web page can be even accessible with prasads.com, prasads.org, prasads.in, etc. There is no limit for this. Now, assume, for example, I say I have var a is equal to say some 90. For 90, a is the variable name. A in the sense 90. Instead of this, can I say that B is equal to C is equal to D is equal to Z is equal to A? Is it not indirectly B means A, C means A, D means A, Z means A, or A means A? Yes or no?
Yes, yes, sir.
Is it is multiple variables or a single variable got multiple names?
Single variable got multiple
The
variables.
same thing happens internally. Whenever you buy out, there is no limitation. Now you can ask the GoDaddy.com, boss, doesn't matter, prasad.com, prasad.in, prasad.org, prasad.in, whatever it is, I want the user to point out to this machine itself. They will configure in such a way that they buy out this domain. They say that, okay, because prasad.in, you are saying that I will create prasad.com, but if user hits prasad.org, it has to come here. What they will do, they buy that domain, they will redirect to their same system.
Okay, sir.
Like this,
Okay,
there
sir.
is no limit. You mean there is no limit that only these number of names can be created, because it's just a renaming and pointing to the same system. So it can be.
Okay, sir.
Yes, Shreyas, go ahead.
So then the very big companies like tech giants, etc., they directly pay to the service provider for means they do not need such mediators for creating the web domains.
Yeah, that is right. I mean, this is all actually the business, right? Now, when you say Act Fiber or Netshells or GoDaddy.com, so these all are like buyers from the main internet service providers. So whoever is actually maintaining the TCS is the one who actually maintains the cables in India within the cross the or what do you say cross the countries. So they actually sell out, because when they sell out, they don't sell it 1 MB, 1 GB, etc. and all, because they can't handle each and every person. No, there are middle layers in between who will be buying out for 2 millions of GB, trillions of GB of data. They buy it out. On the top, they will be divided again divided multiple layers. I mean, they will be selling out trillions of data into some GBs of data. Sorry, not GBs of data, millions of, and that millions will be sold out in thousands of GB, and thousands will be sold in 10 GBs. Like that, it will be distributed. It all depends. I mean, we cannot sure that how the business is happening, but internally there might be, because it depends upon the organization. If it's a very, very big organization, why do you want to go with the small piece of chunks here? I'll directly go with the ISD, then I'll buy it out. But when I say the internet service provider, when he's providing it, he provides, like if I go for TCS guy, boss, I want this. They don't sell in lakhs of GB. They sell in trillions of GB. So it depends. I mean, how the business goes. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine, guys. I think today we discussed enough outside part. But anyway, I mean, hope it was useful discussion for you all.
Yeah, sir.
Okay, that's a good part. Thanks for getting those questions. As I said, you guys, the more the questions you get, the more the discussion we get. Okay, so it will be interesting. And guys, one more thing I actually forgot. Tomorrow, right? We will start the class at 8:30. Might be I'll be closing by 9:10 or 9:15. And at 9:15, one of our class guy, he want to give some demo. Okay. Who all are interested with the Python language? So you know that, I mean, Python is one of the very interesting language going outside, right? So he want to give some demo. He just want to take our feedback. I mean, he actually want to go into the teaching profession. He already got expertise into those things. So just want to take our feedback, like how actually, I mean, as we are the good judges, because he don't want to go directly to the outside world. Being a friend here, like he want to deliver something to his friends here. So we will take it and we'll give some feedback to him, how actually it is going, etc. and all, so that it will really help to him. Okay. Tomorrow we'll be having the class. At the end of the session for 45 minutes, I'll give it to him, and he will be delivering the things. Who is he will be a surprise. Tomorrow you can have a look. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, fine, guys. So let us come back to the discussion. Where I am. We are into we are about to create a static files, right? So let us create some static files to our project, guys. Okay. I want to create some public folder. December, I don't want to delete. I would like to say some index.html, or else let me say login.html. See here again, I'm turning back to the what do you say, the front end part. Okay, so guys, here I will be needing you guys help here. Who can help me in creating the login page, or else let me create it out. When I wanted, I will let you know. I say link, say some CSS file, something called as login.css. Control N, Control S. Let me create a new folder, say some CSS folder. Under that, I say login.css. Okay. And let me even include jQuery in my applications. We already had that, right? 7 a.m. public, not 7 a.m. 8 p.m. public. Let me copy this JS files. Web application public. Oh, we already copied it. Okay, instead of directly copying into the jQuery, I create a folder, something called as JavaScripts. See here, I'm strictly following all the rules and regulations. How do we create a project? When I'm creating a project, you need to have a dedicated CSS folder, holds all the CSS files. Dedicated JavaScript folder holds all the JS files. Under that, jQuery is a library. So create a new folder, something called as lib. Under that, you keep this guy. So wherever, whatever the libraries you are using in an application has to be under the lib folder. Okay, so that anyone looks into the code, they can understand that. Okay, so under this login.html, now I can say script tag, say some src is under JavaScript, under library, under jcode.js. Okay. Now let me create a header. Now we can make use of the HTML5 here. Header tags, say some main tag and footer tag. Okay. Let us define the CSS here. Header, footer, and main. Border 1 pixel solid. Padding of 10 pixel. Position absolute. Okay. Now I say left of some 10 pixel, right of some 10 pixel. Okay. Save this guy. Login.html, open in the browser. I don't want to run from the public. I would like to run from the local host colon 8081. Close this. Why my this thing is down? I have started my server. Okay, npm start. Okay, so coming back to this guy, I say online shopping application at the rate copyrights 2021. Okay, save this guy. This is how it is. Top CSM 50 pixel. Okay, this is how I have my containers. Text align center. Okay. Now I have the main container. I'm not adding much beautification here, guys. You can actually try on this. My thing is I would like to show some login page in between the main page. I say some div class is equal to login block. Under that, I'll go for the UL. Under that, li, enter user ID, input type equal to text. ID is, we'll create a complete flow, guys. The reason why I'm not directly showing the services concept here. I want to show you in such a way that first of all, we create a login. Now you give your ID and password. Now, how do we pass this ID and password to the server guy? Now from server, how you're going to catch it through a web service. Now from there, how do you get that guy and send it to the database and see whether it is valid or not? So we'll see the complete flow. Okay, that's the reason I'm again creating this UI part. But anyways, these things we have already saw many number of times. Okay, so employee UID, I say li, password, input type equal to password, ID is equal to e password, li, input type equal to say some button value is equal to login, on click is equal to login user. Okay, now for this guy, I want to create a separate file, JavaScript. Under that, I will say login.js. Okay, login.js. Under that is a where login user is a method. Like this is some alert login. Okay. Now, if you come back and reload this page, this is how the login block is coming. Let's put some CSS for this login block under login.css. Margin of 30 pixel and auto. Okay, width of say some 400 pixel. Say some background color of #CCC. Reload. This is how it is coming. Padding of say some 10 pixel. And here I say login block li border 1 pixel solid, background color #FFF, padding of 10 pixel, margin of 10 pixel. This is how it is. Border radius 10 pixel. Okay, this is how it is. You can work on how do you keep all these labels in a left side and the text box in a right side. Okay, please work on that. So under this, I can say just style none, right? Okay, along with this, I would like to create some buttons, some say some span class equal to link. I say forgot password. New sign up question mark. Okay, I want to create these things, say some dot link, color blue, color blue, and cursor pointer. Okay, and dot link on hover, I would like to put some underline, text hyphen decoration, underline. Save this guy, come back here and reload the page. This is how we have. So I have the ID, I have the password to be entered. Now when I click on login or forgot password sign up. Now when I click on login, what I need to do, I need to read the ID and password this guy. EUID. Okay, where I have the data is a JSON object. Data.uid equal to document, sorry, I can use jQuery, right? Hash so and so dot val. I say password. I say password is so and so. Now I say console.log data. Save this guy. Come back and reload the page. Let's inspect this guy. Go for console. Now I go for, I give the ID user underscore test, password something called as hello. When I click on login, login user is not defined, it is saying. Why so?
There is a semicolon.
But not included the
Line
login. No, we have not included the login.js, right? I say src javascript login.js. Now if you come back, reload the page, say some hello, say something. When I click on login, it says login and the data is so and so. Okay, fine. Now, when I click on forgot password, forget about this. I mean, login we'll do later. When I click on forgot password, what I need to do? Do I need to redirect it to the forgot password page? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine.
Yes.
Okay, so what I want to do is when I click on forgot password, I want to redirect it to a forgot password page. Do we need to create a separate page here? Forgot password.html? Yes or no?
Yes,
You,
sir.
sir, you could do that, or you can just have it redirected much further down to the bottom of the page. Just like a static link to the same page, but it's further down. So it gives you instructions on what to do.
Yeah, that is fine. But anyway, the redirection finally has to go with a separate page. Fine, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, in general, what we do is we create a forgot password page .html. We create a new sign up page .html. So those are not recommended. When we create a new separate page, it is going to have some performance decrease. So what actually those performance decreases? At the same time, how do we increase the performance? By a concept, something called as templating concept. So I'm pausing the topics for today now. Tomorrow, it's a very important topic. How do we make use of the template? There is a concept, something called as SPA. Ever heard about this? Single page web application. SPA. When you go to the Angular, when you go to the React, any of the frameworks you go, they all strictly follows the SPA. So what do you mean by SPA? It's a single page web application concept. So how the resources or how the pages gets rendered when we go with the single page web application. So these things we are going to discuss tomorrow, guys. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So if you don't have any questions for today, we'll stop it for today. We'll meet again back on tomorrow, and tomorrow I'll discuss the remaining things. Make sure everybody is there tomorrow, guys. If possible, I may even, maybe may not possible. Tomorrow I'll finish with this templating concept, SPA feature. Then we have the demo of that. Then on the next week, Monday, we'll be starting with the web services concept. How do we create web service, etc. stuff. Okay. So let's sign off for today. Have a good night and bye for today, guys, everyone.
Bye, sir. Good night.
Good night.
See you guys.